guys, welcome back to my channel. So recently I decided that I wanted to redo my African fat-tailed gecko's cage. I just wanted to give it a little bit of a makeover because I wasn't really loving how it was before. So I figured I would take the opportunity to film this for you guys, show it to you guys, and this can also kind of be used as a how to set up their cages. I'm going to be telling you everything I'm doing, like walking you through every step, so that if any of you out there are maybe planning on getting a fat-tailed gecko, maybe this can help you with their cage setup. With all of that said, I guess we can just go ahead and get right on into the video. Her cage is behind me. You know, you can see the doors here. Her cage is right here behind me. It is an 18 by 18 by 12 exoteric, which I believe is the small low. I think that's what it is. So now with all that said, let's just go right on into the video and start setting up her cage. Okay, so one of the first things I'm going to need to do is prepare my substrate. So here I have some of the Eco Earth bricks. There's 3 of them in a package. I'm only going to be using one of them, but I have to prepare this because obviously I'm not just going to put it in the cage like a brick. So obviously you can use the bags of Eco Earth if you want to. I just want to use these because they're cheaper and you get more for your dollar. So I'm just going to go and open this up and get one of the bricks out, and then I'm just going to take the brick and place it in this container here. This is just like, I don't know, a little storage tub. And I'm going to take some water and add it in here, but I will also be making sure I add some Reptisave so that the water is dechlorinated. Alright, so I went ahead and I added some water. The instructions said to add 3 to 4 liters, which, in case you didn't know, is around 1 gallon. I went for 3 liters because I thought I'll just try it with 3, and then if I need more, I can always add more. So essentially now we're just gonna let the brick sit in here for a while, and then it'll turn to Eco Earth. You can kind of see that it's already coming apart. So yeah, we're just going to let it sit for a while, and later we'll have some substrate. Okay, so the Eco Earth is all ready now. As you can see, obviously it's not a brick anymore, it's all loose fibers. And yeah, I didn't have to add any additional water. This was just with the original 3 liters, and it is just how I wanted. It's not too soggy, it's not too dry, it is perfect. So now we can go ahead and start setting up the cage. Okay, so as I said earlier, her cage is right here behind me, you know, 18 by 18 by 12 Exoterra. That is what we are going to be using. So I've already went ahead and cleaned out the cage. There's nothing to do there. I already wiped the whole thing down. It is clean, it's ready to go. So the first thing we are going to be adding is the substrate, which is Eco Earth. I already showed you guys how I went ahead and made this. So now we're just going to go ahead and add some into the cage. Actually, you know what, I lied. Before we add the substrate, we're gonna go ahead and add the background into it. This is just the background that came with the cage when I bought it. It is nothing fancy, but this is what I'm going to be using. Okay, there we go. So now that the background's in, we can finally go ahead and get the substrate in. You know, finally, we're finally doing it. Now that the substrate is all in, the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and place her hides. Now with African fat-tailed geckos, it's important that you have both a warm hide and a cool hide. So I'm going to be placing one on each end, sort of. Now, a lot of people wonder if they need humid hides, and in my experience, I find they don't. African fat-tailed geckos need their enclosure to have relatively high humidity, so you don't really need a specific humid hide. You just need to make sure you're keeping the humidity right in their cage. So the first thing I'm going to be using is just one of these little wooden bendy bridges. Now these are actually sold in this small animal section, you know, with like the hamster stuff, but these can definitely be used for reptiles. I've been using this for a while. So this is going to be her warm hide, which I'm going to go ahead and place kind of in this front corner here, because this is going to be the warm area, and then in the back it's going to be the cool area. That's that place there. I know you can't really see it because of this, like, this thing is kind of blocking it, but I'll make sure I give you like a better view of everything at the end, but I just placed it right here in the front corner. And now for the second hide, I'm going to be using this. Now this was actually bought in the fish section, but it works perfect as a reptile hide, and it kind of gives them a little thing to climb up on, which is really nice. And it has like a little door in the front and the back, so yeah, I really like this. So I'm going to go ahead and add this in the back corner here, and this is going to be used as the cool hide. So there, that was placed in there, and again, you can't really see it because of this border here. I'm actually going to try and reposition the camera a bit so that you can see in the enclosure a bit better, because I feel like how it is right now isn't really helpful. Okay, I kind of raised the camera up a bit so now you can see it a little bit better. I know it's still not the greatest, but like I said, I will give you a better view of everything at the end, so yeah. Next thing I'm going to do is add some driftwood in the cage. Here I have a couple pieces of driftwood. I have 3 pieces altogether, so I'm going to go ahead and put these in. Now I really like using driftwood in their enclosures because it gives them a couple things to climb on as well as hide under if they want to. So I'm going to go ahead and just place these in there. So I went ahead and I added all of the driftwood in. I kind of focused it around the back of the cage. It gives some cool climbing places as well as hiding spots, so I think my gecko will really love it. Next thing I'm going to be adding is some plants. I'm using all fake plants today, but if you want to use live plants, you can totally do that. I prefer to use fake plants just because I'm really bad at keeping live plants alive, so they always just die and then that sucks, so I'm going with fake plants. I have a bunch here. I don't know if I'm going to end up using all of them, but you know, we'll see. Plants and stuff play an important part in the cage because they really do help your gecko feel more secure. Even with the hides, the plants just give your gecko some more security, and it gives them some fun things to explore around, so I would highly recommend adding multiple plants in your cage, whether they be live or fake. I highly recommend adding them. So the first one I'm going to add in is this one here. This one is like, it has a suction cup on the back, so this will obviously be stuck on the side of the cage, and then the rest of them are all for the ground. This is the only one with a suction cup. So I went ahead and I just added that one in there in the back corner. So now let's go ahead and add the rest. Okay, for the rest of the video, I decided I would work top down. So hopefully this gives you a better view of everything. I'm hoping that's the plan at least. So I'm going to be taking this plant here. It's kind of like a grassy plant, and I'm going to add it in the back corner. And I'm just going to add that right by the driftwood. And now I do have another one of these that I'm going to go ahead and stick in this back corner here, right kind of by the hide and the driftwood, and then this plant here. Before we go any further with the plants, I'm going to go ahead and add the water dish in. I'm just going to stick that right up front here. Obviously there's no water in it yet, but you know. And now I actually have a third one of these plants, which I think I'm going to add right over here close to the other one. I don't know, I really like these plants, and I actually just got these at a craft store. I did not get these from the pet store. These were from Michael's. That's it for the big plants I'm going to add, but I also have a couple of these little ones, so I'm going to just kind of place these around the cage for some decoration. Well, that's essentially it decoration wise. The only other thing that I have that I would really add in here is her worm dish, but I don't just leave the worm dish in all the time. I only put it in there when I feed her, and then I take it out when she's done eating. So yeah, this is essentially it, but then like I said, you can add a worm dish if you would like. One little disclaimer I would like to make when it comes to like the heat mat, the thermostat, a thermometer, and like a hydrometer. I have all of that stuff, but I'm not adding it until I put the cage on the shelf. This is my coffee table here, so I'm not going to keep it on my coffee table. It's going in my animal room, and I'm not going to be hooking up like the heat pad and the thermostat and all that until it's back in the pet room on the shelf. So don't worry, I do have a heat mat, I do have a thermostat, I do have a thermometer, a hydrometer, I have all of that. I'm just not hooking it up on my coffee table because that would be essentially pointless. But now that the cage is all set up otherwise, we can go ahead and place the gecko in it and see how she likes it. So this here is Daisy. She is my African fat-tailed gecko. She is so sweet and so cute, and I love her so much. She's just the best. So we're gonna go and put her in her cage now. And of course she's just going to go and hide right away. How fun. Daisy, can't you be a little more exciting and like come and explore for the camera? I guess not. Well, even though Daisy just went and hid right away, this is what the cage looks like. There's lots of plants over in this corner, as well as some driftwood, and there's some more driftwood over there, and some more plants, and then we have a couple in the front. Her water dish, obviously I will be filling this up with water once I move it, but if I fill it up now, I'd probably just spill it. So it's empty for now, but obviously I'm going to give her water. That's it. Oh, she's coming to explore. Hello. Hello, Daisy. You're so cute. I love you. And she's just going back to hide. That was a nice little explore. Good job. Well, there you guys go. That was it for the video. That was me setting up my fat-tailed gecko enclosure, you know, for Daisy, my fat-tailed gecko. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and hopefully if you are planning on getting a fat-tailed gecko, this helped you out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to subscribe to my channel. If you aren't already, hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever I post. Also, a cricket is chirping really loud. I'm sorry. Also, be sure to give the video a big thumbs up. You know, that helps me out. I would appreciate it. Also, be sure to give the video a big thumbs up. You know, it helps me out. I appreciate it. Check out all of my social media. Everything is just EmmaSam99 except for my Younow, which is EmmaLSampson. But yeah, once again, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you all next time. Daisy came back out to explore, so she says goodbye and thank you for watching, and she says subscribe. So, oh my gosh, look at her. So yeah, you better subscribe because Daisy said so. Right, Daisy? Subscribe. Okay, goodbye.